Elon Musk has finally opened up on the moon landing. Many notable scientists and astronomers concur with Elon Musk that the landing of the Apollo team on the moon in 1969 is the most amazing achievement that humanity can brag about so far. When Musk, a man who has independently constructed the most successful commercial space company in the world, talks about the moon landing, we have to pay some attention. So why do you think Musk has this thinking that landing on the moon is a great victory for the US? Continue watching this video to find out. I think there is value that shouldn't be denigrated for people who want to experience going to orbit or going to the moon. And, when they do so, I think some degree vicariously, we all go with them, when. And when the Pole program, when they landed on the moon, it was just a handful of individuals on the moon, but we all went with them vicariously. Humanity went with them. Like if you asked Peter DePaul of People on Earth and said, hey, what do you think? Is humanity's greatest achievement of it maybe ever? It's like landing on them. Look at the Apollo program and saying sending people to the moon, 69. And wasn't that a great thing for all of humanity? Great thing. And if you ask people like one of what some of the greatest things that humanity has ever done, that would be one around the world people would agree with that, yes, I do get that question. This is, we went to the moon, not just once, but several times. And I think the Russians would have called us out on that one if it wasn't true, To say the least among this is the Russians didn't like us at the time. Yeah, so, it's not a huge fan of right now. They wouldn't have congratulated like they were looking at us in the through telescopes and like this is real. Like there's a huge, ideological victory for the United States and the Western nation. So, but anyway, the point is we want to have an exciting, inspiring future and one where we are space-spreading civilization and multi-planet species. I think it has a much more exciting and inspiring future than one where we are forever confined to it and never go back to the moon. And the moon was our high watermark, and that's all we ever did. Humanity landing on the moon, man, was maybe the greatest thing ever. Maybe the greatest thing ever. It's really hard to believe. It's incredible history. I hope we go back to the moon soon. It is intriguing that ever since the first people sent to the moon in 1969, there has not yet been sent a bunch of other people after that time. Was it just a one-time thing? Why is the American Space Agency, NASA, not sending more people to the moon? Elon Musk responded to these questions in an interview and much more. Take a peek. If you take a look at the process in space, in 1969, we were able to send somebody to the moon. Then we had the space shuttle. The space shuttle could only take people to low Earth orbit. Then the space shuttle retired and the United States could take no one to orbit. But so that's the trend. Australia is down to nothing. This is not if you have a mistake, and when they think that technology just automatically improves, it does not automatically improve. It only improves if a lot of people work very hard to make it better. And actually it will, I think, it by itself degrade. Actually, you look at a great civilization like ancient Egypt, and they're able to make the pyramids, and they forgot how to do that. And the Romans, they built these incredible aqueducts. They forgot how to do it. It's concerning that here we are 49 years after the last mission to the moon, and it's almost half a century, and we've not been back, and that's worrying. It's does that mean we've peaked as a civilization, or what? So I think we gotta get back to the moon and build a base there. A science base, I think. We could learn a lot about the nature of the universe if we have a proper science base on the moon. Like we have a science base in Antarctica and, many other parts of the world. And, so that's I think the next big thing we've got to have a serious moon base and then get people to Mars and, get out there and be a space bank civilization. Undoubtedly, Elon Musk is a man on a mission to make us a spacefaring civilization and multiplanetary. Before he plans to take us to Mars by 2060, he has a plan of constructing a base on the moon. Aside from that, Musk's SpaceX achieved a $2.9 billion contract from NASA, where they will utilize the Starship to take astronomers from lunar orbit to the surface of the moon. Given Musk's track record, he will certainly get the job done. Musk discloses in an interview how he plans on constructing a human base on the moon by continuing with the Apollo program. Let us show you. We want to get the public real fired up I think we gotta have a base on the moon, and then going beyond that, getting people to Mars. You know, having some permanent presence, on another heavenly body, to the kind of moon base. And then I'm getting people to Mars and beyond. And, you know, sort of like that's the continuance of the dream of Apollo that I'm really looking for. Well, I think the moon-based, certainly, there's like a lot we could learn scientifically if we had a proper laboratory about the nature of the universe and, you know, where we all came from, the early history of the Earth, and that kind of thing. Yeah, we have a science station in Antarctica, and we're still learning a lot from, you know, our activities in Antarctica. And I think we could learn even more on the move. So there's a lot of value, I think, to having, I think it'd be just freaking cool. I mean, come on. It's like we're gonna, you know, humanity lets you gotta represent for humanity. Just have a base on the moon. But I think everyone would be like, yeah, we got a base on the moon. That's cool. Yeah, you know. In another interview, he stated, "We should have a base on the moon, like a permanently occupied human base on the moon, and send people to Mars, you know, in a city pull, the city on Mars. That's what we should do. The revenue generated from Starlink is what can enable the of a permanent crewed base on the moon, which would be the next step from Apollo, which is like, let's just not go there for a few hours and then head back. Let's have an opponent at the occupied space station on the moon. And we can also build some pretty epic telescopes on the moon that would enable us to learn more about the nature of the universe and figure out what's going on and maybe detect those aliens. And then for SpaceX, I think it's important that we take actions like that. We become a space-faring civilization and a multiplanetary species. This is an exciting, inspiring future. You know, you need to have things that when you wake up in the morning, you're excited about the future. Why live if it's all about solving problems of being miserable? Why live? So they've got to be things that are inspiring, that get you in the heart. And I think space is one of those things. Musk's company, SpaceX, is not only operating with NASA, but also the Pentagon via the United States Space Force on many space projects. You can only anticipate that such a crazy partnership will station a scientific base on the moon in the near future. So what are your thoughts about Musk's mission of building a base on the moon? Let us know in the comments below.